After age 60, your joints whisper warnings that most doctors miss entirely. You shuffle to the mailbox and feel that faint ache in your knee. You climb 3 stairs and your hip tightens. The standard advice always lands the same way. Walk more, they say, 30 minutes daily, keep those joints moving. But here is what the research now reveals and what physicians in Tokyo have practiced quietly for decades. Walking as your sole movement plan can accelerate the very where you are trying to prevent, especially if your gait has already shifted, if one leg compensates for the other, if your foot strikes pavement thousands of times with misaligned force distributing unevenly across cartilage that no longer repairs itself the way it did at 30. The impact compounds. The damage hides until one morning you cannot climb those stairs at all. 3 minutes changes everything. Not 3 miles. 3 minutes of precise, floor-based Japanese movement that eliminates impact, resets alignment, and floods your joints with the synovial fluid they desperately need without a single step on concrete. The science behind this is not new, but it has been buried under decades of Western exercise dogma that assumes more is always better and that walking solves everything. It does not. In some cases, it hastens the end of your mobility. What I am about to share with you has stunned orthopedic surgeons when they see the follow-up imaging. Cartilage that was thinning stops thinning. Pain that was daily becomes occasional. Balance that was shaky becomes solid. All from 3 minutes on your floor each morning. Now, before I walk you through the exact routine, let me be clear about what we are unpacking here. There are 3 movements, each 1 minute long, and they must be done in sequence because each prepares your body for the next. The third movement is the one that rewires your nervous system in a way that walking never will, and it is so simple that when I first demonstrated it to a 72-year-old retired postal worker named Diane, she laughed and said it looked like something a child would do. 2 weeks later, she canceled her knee replacement consultation. But the second movement is the one that surprised me most because it directly contradicts what every physical therapist in America will tell you about stretching cold muscles, and yet it is the key to unlocking range of motion that you thought was gone forever. We will get to both. First, though, you need to understand why walking has become the problem and not the solution for so many of you. Let me ask you something. Drop a comment below and tell me how old you are and whether you have been told by a doctor to walk more for your joint health. I want to see how widespread this advice is because I have a feeling most of you hearing this right now have received that exact prescription at some point in the last 5 years. Walking is weight-bearing. That sounds like a benefit, and in your 40s it absolutely is. Bone density responds to load. Muscles strengthen when they resist gravity. But after 60, the equation shifts. Your cartilage has spent decades absorbing shock, and in most bodies it has thinned. The fluid cushion between your bones has reduced. When you walk, especially on sidewalks or asphalt, each foot strike sends force upward through your ankle, your knee, your hip. If your stride is even slightly off, if one foot turns out a degree or 2 more than the other, if your hip flexors are tight from years of sitting, that force distributes unevenly. One side of your knee bears more load than it should. Over months, over years, that imbalance carves grooves into cartilage that will never grow back. You feel it as stiffness, then as pain, then as limitation. And the cruel irony is that the walking you do to stay mobile is what tips you over the edge into immobility. Studies from Japan, where mobility past 90 is far more common than in the United States, show a pattern. Older adults there walk less than Americans do on average, yet their joint health markers are better. Their flexibility is better. Their fall rates are lower. Researchers initially chalked this up to genetics or diet, but when they examined daily routines, they found something else. Floor culture. Sitting on floors. Rising from floors. Moving on floors. The Japanese have maintained practices that force the body to hinge, to squat, to rotate, to balance, all without the repetitive impact of walking. These movements are slow. They are controlled. They are done on soft surfaces. And they activate stabilizer muscles that walking simply cannot reach because walking is too automatic. Your body does it on autopilot. Floor movements require attention. That attention recruits neural pathways. That recruitment is what rebuilds coordination and prevents falls. So here is the routine. 3 movements. 1 minute each. You can do this in your bedroom, in your living room, anywhere you have space to lie down and roll. You do not need a mat, though a thin yoga mat or folded towel under your back can help if your floor is hard. You do this every morning, ideally within 30 minutes of waking, when your body is still waking up its systems and when the movements can set your alignment for the entire day. Let me walk you through each one. Movement 1 is called the frog pull. You lie on your back. Bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet together so your legs form a diamond shape, knees falling open to the sides. This is a position most of you have not been in since childhood. Your inner thighs will feel it immediately. Place your hands on your lower belly. Take a slow breath in through your nose, letting your belly rise into your hands. As you exhale through your mouth, gently draw your knees toward each other, not closing them but engaging the inner thigh muscles, then release them back open. Repeat this for 1 minute. Inhale as the knees open, exhale as they draw slightly together. The pace is slow, maybe 10 or 12 repetitions across the minute. What is happening here is not a stretch. You are waking up the adductors, the inner thigh muscles that stabilize your pelvis and your knees during every step you take. In most people over 60, these muscles have gone quiet. The body compensates with the quads and the hip flexors, which then pull your kneecap off its track and create that grinding sensation you feel when you squat down. By reactivating the adductors first thing in the morning, you reset the muscular balance around your knee. You also gently mobilize your hip joint in a direction it almost never moves during walking. This is internal rotation of the hip, and it is one of the first ranges of motion you lose as you age. Restoring even a small amount of it can eliminate lateral knee pain within days. Here is why this works when stretching does not. Traditional stretching pulls a muscle to length and holds it there. That triggers a protective reflex. Your nervous system senses tension and tightens the muscle further to prevent tearing. This is called the stretch reflex, and it is why so many people stretch daily for years and never gain flexibility. The frog pull does the opposite. You are contracting the muscle gently, then releasing it. This is called active release, and it tells your nervous system that the muscle is safe, that it can lengthen without threat. Your body listens. The tissue softens. The range opens. All of this in 60 seconds. Let me tell you about Martin. He is 67, used to work in construction, spent 40 years lifting and kneeling, and now his knees sounded like gravel in a jar every time he stood up. His doctor told him to walk a mile a day and take glucosamine. He did both for 6 months. The grinding got louder. He came to me frustrated, convinced he was heading for surgery. I had him lie down and do the frog pull. Just that one movement. After 1 minute he stood up and said it felt like someone had oiled his knees. I told him to do it every morning for 2 weeks and report back. 2 weeks later he called me and said the grinding was half as loud and he could squat down to pick up his grandson without bracing himself on furniture. He still does the frog pull every single day. It takes him 60 seconds. That is the power of waking up the right muscles first. Movement 2 is the seated spiral. From the frog position, bring your knees together and roll onto your right side. Push yourself up to sitting. Cross your legs loosely in front of you, whichever leg feels natural on top. If crossing your legs fully is not possible, sit with your legs in a wide diamond, soles of your feet together in front of you. Now place your right hand on the floor behind you, fingertips pointing away from your body. Inhale and lengthen your spine, growing tall. As you exhale, twist your torso to the right, gently, letting your gaze follow your right shoulder. Your left hand can rest on your right knee to support the twist. Hold this twist for 3 slow breaths. Then inhale back to center, switch your hand position, and twist to the left for 3 breaths. Repeat this 2 more times on each side. The entire sequence takes 1 minute. This is the movement that contradicts everything you have been told. You are twisting a cold spine. In most Western physical therapy settings, you would be scolded for this. But here is the reality. Your spine does not warm up from walking or from light cardio. It warms up from movement at the joint itself. Rotation is the most neglected plane of spinal motion in modern life. You sit in cars. You sit at desks. You lie flat in bed. All of these positions are sagittal plane, meaning forward and back. Your spine almost never rotates under load in daily life. Cartilage and synovial fluid in the facet joints of your spine rely on movement to stay healthy. When rotation stops, those joints dry out. They stiffen. That stiffness is what you feel as lower back pain or the inability to look over your shoulder when backing up your car. The seated spiral restores rotation gently, with your pelvis anchored and your weight supported by the floor. There is no impact. There is no momentum. Just pure, controlled rotation. This floods the facet joints with synovial fluid, lubricates the discs between your vertebrae, and activates the small stabilizer muscles along your spine that have been dormant for years. Studies tracking older adults in Japan who maintain floor-sitting practices show significantly lower rates of lumbar disc degeneration compared to age-matched Americans who sit primarily in chairs. The difference is rotation and the need to transition from floor to standing. These transitions force your body to solve a movement puzzle every time. Your brain stays sharp. Your muscles stay responsive. The seated spiral gives you that benefit in a controlled, safe format. You get the rotation. You get the stabilization. You do not get the fall risk of trying to stand up from a deep squat on your first attempt. Let me tell you about Susan. She is 71. She taught elementary school for 35 years and her lower back pain was so constant that she slept with a heating pad every night. Her doctor gave her muscle relaxers and told her to avoid twisting. She lived like that for 3 years. A friend of hers saw improvement from the routine I am teaching you and convinced Susan to try it. Susan was terrified of the seated spiral because she had been told never to twist. I explained the difference between twisting under load, like swinging a golf club hard, and twisting with support, like the seated spiral. She tried it. The first few days she felt nothing. On day 4 she woke up and realized she had slept through the night without waking from back pain for the first time in months. 2 weeks in, she put the heating pad in a closet. She has not used it since. The seated spiral restored the movement her spine had been craving. Her pain was not damage. It was stiffness. And stiffness melts with the right motion. Movement 3 is the supine march. From your seated position, lie back down on your back. Bend your knees, feet flat on the floor about hip-width apart. Arms rest by your sides, palms down. Now here is the movement. Slowly lift your right knee toward your chest, bringing your thigh to about 90 degrees, then lower it back down with control. As soon as your right foot touches the floor, lift your left knee. Alternate like this, slow and controlled, for 1 minute. This looks like marching in place while lying on your back. Your lower back stays pressed gently into the floor the entire time. Do not let it arch. If you feel your back arching, you are lifting your knee too high. Bring it only as high as you can while keeping your lower back in contact with the ground. This is the movement that rewires your nervous system. Walking is reciprocal motion, meaning your right arm swings forward as your left leg steps, and vice versa. This crossbody pattern is hardwired into your brainstem. It is automatic. But as you age, and especially if you have had injuries or joint pain, that pattern degrades. One side compensates. Your gait becomes asymmetrical. You favor one leg. Your balance suffers because your brain is no longer receiving clean, symmetrical signals from both sides of your body. The supine march retrains that reciprocal pattern in a zero-impact environment. By doing it lying down, you remove gravity, fear of falling, and the need to balance. Your brain can focus purely on the motor pattern. Left, right, even. Controlled. Symmetrical. After just 1 minute of this, when you stand up, your gait will feel smoother. Your balance will feel more centered. You are teaching your nervous system to trust both sides of your body equally again. Research in motor learning shows that neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, does not stop at 60 or 70 or 80. It slows, yes, but it does not stop. The key to accessing it is repetition without threat. The supine march is exactly that. Repetition. No threat. 1 minute every morning for 2 weeks and your brain will rebuild the pathways that make walking safe and efficient again. This is why people who do this routine report fewer stumbles, better confidence on stairs, and less fear of ice or uneven ground. They are not stronger. Their joints are not magically healed, but their nervous system is recalibrated. And in the realm of fall prevention, that recalibration is worth more than any amount of muscle strength. Let me tell you about George. 79 years old. Retired firefighter. He had fallen twice in 6 months, both times in his own home, once getting out of bed and once stepping off a curb. His children were pushing him to move into assisted living. He was humiliated and terrified. A neighbor who knew me asked if there was anything that might help. I taught George the 3-minute routine. He was skeptical. He said he had done physical therapy, he had done balance exercises on foam pads, none of it worked. I told him this was different. I told him to do it every single morning for 3 weeks and then decide. He did. After 1 week he said he felt steadier but could not explain why. After 2 weeks he walked to his mailbox without holding the railing. After 3 weeks he told his kids he was staying in his house. He has not fallen since. That was 8 months ago. The supine march gave his brain the clean repetition it needed to rebuild trust in his legs. That trust became confidence. That confidence became freedom. Now let me connect the 3 movements for you. The frog pull wakes up your hips and inner thighs. It resets pelvic alignment and prepares your lower body for movement. The seated spiral lubricates your spine and restores rotation, which protects your back and improves your ability to twist safely during daily tasks like reaching into a back seat or looking over your shoulder. The supine march retrains your nervous system to coordinate both sides of your body evenly, which is the foundation of balance and safe walking. Together, these 3 movements address the 3 main reasons people over 60 lose mobility: hip stiffness, spinal rigidity, and neuromuscular imbalance. You cannot fix these issues by walking more. Walking requires that these systems already function well. If they do not, walking breaks you down instead of building you up. Here is what you need to know about timing and consistency. Do this routine every morning. Not every other morning. Not when you remember. Every morning. The reason is neurological. Your nervous system learns through daily repetition. Miss a day and you lose a thread of that learning. String together 14 days without missing and you will feel a shift that surprises you. Your body will start to crave the routine. It will feel off if you skip it. That craving is your nervous system recognizing a beneficial pattern. Listen to it. You do not need to stop walking. I am not telling you to give up your daily walk. What I am telling you is that walking alone is not enough, and in some cases it is counterproductive. If you do the 3-minute routine every morning and then go for a walk, that walk will feel different. Your stride will be more even. Your joints will feel more cushioned. You will have less pain afterward. That is because you front-loaded your day with alignment and lubrication. You gave your body what it needed before you asked it to perform. Some of you are wondering if 3 minutes is really enough. It sounds too simple, too short. You have been conditioned to believe that exercise must be long and hard to work. That is not true for joint health and neurological recalibration. In fact, longer is often worse. Fatigue leads to compensation. Compensation leads to misalignment. Misalignment leads to injury. 3 minutes done with full attention and proper form will outperform 30 minutes done sloppily while your mind wanders. Quality beats duration every single time when it comes to movement past 60. Now let me address safety. If you have had a hip or knee replacement, you can still do these movements, but you need to modify. For the frog pull, do not let your knees fall open as wide. Keep the range smaller. For the seated spiral, twist only as far as feels comfortable with no pain. For the supine march, if lifting your knee causes sharp pain in your hip, reduce the range. Bring your knee only halfway. The benefit still happens. You are still training the pattern. You are still lubricating the joint. Pain is a signal. Respect it. Discomfort is different. A stretch sensation, a feeling of effort, that is discomfort and it is acceptable. Sharp pain, clicking with pain, these are red flags. Stop and consult a professional. If you cannot get down to the floor or back up safely, you can modify all 3 movements. For the frog pull, lie on your bed with your feet at the edge so your knees can fall open. For the seated spiral, sit in a sturdy chair and twist your torso, using the chair back for support. For the supine march, lie on your bed and alternate lifting your knees. The surface is softer but the movement pattern is the same. The goal is to do the movements, not to prove you can get on the floor. Meet yourself where you are. Here is the larger principle at work. After 60, Your body does not need more exercise. It needs smarter exercise. It needs movement that targets the systems that are breaking down: joint lubrication, spinal mobility, neuromuscular coordination. Walking does not target these systems. It assumes they are already working. For many of you, they are not. That is why walking feels harder than it used to. That is why you are sore afterward. That is why you are not seeing improvement despite months or years of effort. You've been working hard at the wrong thing. The Japanese approach to aging is fundamentally different from the Western approach. In the West, we fight aging. We push through pain. We celebrate endurance and intensity. In Japan, the philosophy is adaptation. You adapt your movement to match your body's current capacity. You do not force your body to meet an arbitrary standard. This is why the 3-minute routine works. It is designed around what your body can do now, not what it could do at 40. It builds from there. It is patient. It is sustainable. And it delivers results that aggressive exercise plans cannot, because it works with your body instead of against it. Let me be clear about what this routine will not do. It will not reverse severe arthritis. It will not regrow cartilage that is completely gone. It will not cure a torn meniscus. If you have significant structural damage, you may still need medical intervention. But even in those cases, this routine will improve your function. It will reduce your pain. It will extend the time before you need surgery. And after surgery, it will speed your recovery. I have worked with people pre-op and post-op, and the ones who do this routine heal faster and regain more range of motion than those who do not. That is because the routine maintains the neurological and facial health that surgery cannot address. Now some of you are thinking this sounds too good to be true. You are wondering why your doctor has never mentioned this. Here's the truth. Most doctors are not trained in movement. They are trained in pathology. They look at your X-ray, they see the narrow joint space, they diagnose osteoarthritis, they prescribe anti-inflammatories or injections or surgery. Movement therapy is not in their toolbox. Physical therapists know about movement, but most of them are working within insurance constraints that limit them to 15-minute appointments focused on isolated stretches and strengthening exercises. They do not have time to teach you a holistic 3-minute routine. And the research supporting floor-based movement for joint health is largely published in Japanese medical journals that do not get translated or cited in Western literature. The information exists, but it has not crossed the ocean in a way that changes mainstream practice. That is why you are hearing it here. I want you to try this routine for 2 weeks. 14 consecutive mornings. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Do the frog pole for 1 minute, the seated spiral for 1 minute, the supine march for 1 minute. Pay attention to how you feel when you stand up afterward. Pay attention to how your body feels later that day. Notice your balance. Notice your pain levels. Notice your confidence. Write it down if you need to. At the end of 2 weeks, assess. If you feel no different, you can stop. But I predict you will feel different. And once you do, you will not want to stop. This is not a miracle. This is not a cure-all. This is applied physiology. This is taking what we know about joint lubrication, spinal mechanics, and motor learning, and packaging it into a format that fits into your life. 3 minutes. Every morning. On your floor. That is the prescription. It is free. It is accessible. It is safe. And it works. So here is my final question for you. Which of these 3 movements surprised you most, and are you willing to try the full routine starting tomorrow morning? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear what resonates with you and what your biggest hesitation is. And if you start the routine, come back in 2 weeks and let me know what changed. Your story might be the one that convinces someone else to try.